let me tell you about a real-life genius. A man so smart that he made everyone else look like they were still figuring out how to spell their own names. His name is Yang Ding, and his life story sounds like something straight out of a movie. He was born in Taiwan in 1958, and right from the start, he was not like other babies. First, he took his sweet time to come out. He was born 1.5 months late. The doctors were shocked. The placenta was already hard as rock, but somehow, this little chubby 8-pound baby showed up, full of life, and probably already planning his first scientific paper. As a child, he learned faster than anyone else. Ding Yang is the kind of genius whose brilliance bloomed early. At 13, he entered medical school in Brazil. At 21, he graduated with a double PhD from Rockefeller University. By age 27, he was heading its Department of Molecular Immunity and Cell Biology, being the first to discover how white cells kill cancer cells. By 30, he was rich, married the woman he loved, and even became the son-in-law of one of Taiwan's richest men, Wang Yangqing, the boss of the Formosa Plastics Group. Talk about a dream life. In 1998, he returned to Taiwan to establish Chang'eng Biotechnology, a company that seeks to address health issues holistically, combining the best practices from both Western and Eastern medicine. Today, it produces Taiwan's leading brand of all-natural health supplements and a range of wellness products that use nanotechnology. But guess what? He said he was not happy. What? How could that be? You have fame, money, brains, and love. What more do you want? Yang Ding said, "Life is not about success. It is about finding your true self." That is deep, right? And his story only gets stranger. When he was a little boy, he could hear music that no one else could hear. Not from the radio, not from any instrument. It was music from another world, floating in the air, soft and beautiful. He called it the heavenly sound. Every night he would hear it and feel full of peace and joy. His mind would relax, and sometimes he felt like he left his body and traveled to another world. In the morning, he would look at himself and think, "Wait, who is that? Is that really me?" Later, when he became a scientist, he realized that what he heard was just like what the ancient Greek philosopher Pythagoras described, the music of the spheres. Pythagoras believed that the planets and stars make their own sounds, a kind of cosmic symphony that our ears cannot hear, but our souls can feel. So maybe Yang Ding was not just a genius. Maybe he was also tuned in to the frequency of the universe. He could see human light. While most of us only see skin, clothes, and bad hair days, he sees glowing colors shining from everyone's body. He calls it the human aura. And guess what? Every person has one. Happy people shine bright and warm. Angry people glow like a volcano ready to explode. The colors keep changing all the time, like a mood ring that never lies. Little Yang Ding could even read messages in those lights. Without asking a single question, he already knew what kind of person you were. Amazing, right? But also, a little scary. Imagine someone looking at you and instantly knowing all your secrets. No wonder people were nervous around him. Who wants to hang out with a human lie detector that glows in the dark? So, smart little Yang kept quiet about it. He did not tell his friends or teachers. He just watched quietly while everyone else had no idea that their personal stories were flashing around them like neon signs. But wait, it gets even stranger. He discovered that animals could also see this light. Wild animals especially. Friendly people had a warm light, so animals walked right up to them. But if someone had dark or angry light, the animals would run away fast. Even plants, he said, could sense this kind of energy. They were always communicating with each other in ways we humans just cannot see. Crazy? Maybe? But he said it was real, and who knows? Maybe the world is more magical than we think. As Yang Ding grew older, he started to see more than just light. He said he could see beings from other realms, bright and kind ones, that he called great saints. and one of them made a huge impression on him. Guess who? Jesus himself. When Yang was only 5 or 6, he was in church with his mother, who was a devoted Catholic. While other kids played outside, little Yang actually liked listening to the priest and saying prayers. One day, while kneeling before the cross, he looked up at the statue of Jesus, and suddenly, something unbelievable happened. The statue moved. Yes, it moved. Jesus opened his eyes, shining with golden light. Then he stretched out his arms, stepped down from the altar, and slowly walked toward little Yang. When Jesus placed his glowing hand on the boy's head, Yang felt a wave of heat and light rush through his body. It was like being struck by lightning, but in the best way possible. His heart stopped for a moment, and then he felt pure happiness, peace, and love. That, he said, was the love of Jesus. And that experience never left him. As he grew up, he said he could still feel that warmth, that golden light, like a constant source of energy and love, that helped him stay calm and true to himself. Oh, and by the way, he also saw angels. Angels and dragons. Have you ever heard people say that everyone has a guardian angel? You cannot see her, but she is always by your side, protecting you, watching over you. Sounds beautiful, right? Well, for young Ding Ye, that was not just a saying. It was real. He said he could actually see them. Yes, real angels. Not just in paintings or movies, but right there, standing in front of him. All he had to do was call their names. He would softly say the names of the great archangels, like Michael, Raphael, or Gabriel, again and again, and suddenly they would appear before him. Can you imagine that? You call, and angels come knocking. But here's the funny part. He said angels do not always have just 2 wings. Some have 5. Some even have 7. Imagine trying to fit 7 wings through a doorway. Must be a challenge even for an angel. Now, if you think that is wild, wait till you hear this. He said he could also see dragons. Real ones. But not the scary fire-breathing dragons from fairy tales. These dragons lived in another dimension and appeared only during thunderstorms. Whenever lightning flashed and thunder roared, they would glide through the clouds, long and majestic. Some people even used infrared cameras to take pictures of the sky during storms. And sometimes, the shapes they captured looked just like dragons. So Yang Dengye said, dragons are real. They never disappeared. They are just invisible to most people. Mysterious roommates of the human world. He also said that dragons often guard sacred places, places where people go on pilgrimages. Sometimes there is 1 dragon, sometimes 2, sometimes a whole team of them, watching quietly from the clouds. One of his most unforgettable encounters happened in Sedona, Arizona, a place famous for its spiral energy fields. The energy there is said to be super strong. One sunny day in June, young Ding Ye was riding in a tour car. Suddenly, he saw a huge dragon appear in the sky ahead. He asked the guide, "Do you get thunderstorms around this time?" The guide said no, not until late July. But just a few minutes later, boom! Dark clouds rolled in, thunder cracked, and heavy rain poured down. Young joked with the driver, "Maybe there is a dragon up there. Should we change direction?" The driver tried turning left, turning right, but no matter which way he went, the storm followed them. After 38 years of driving in Sedona, the driver said he had never seen anything like that. Maybe the dragon really was saying hello. Now let's jump back to when Yang was a kid in Brazil. His father was a professor there, and Brazil, of course, is the land of football. Little Yang joined the local kids on the field, small but quick. One day, in the middle of a game, something strange happened. The noise of the crowd disappeared, everything became quiet. His mind went completely blank, calm like a still lake. And then something magical happened. He dribbled the ball from one end of the field to the other, 70 meters. Passing for defenders like a ghost, and kicked the ball straight into the goal. Everyone went crazy. The crowd cheered, his teammates screamed, even the parents could not believe it. The tiny Chinese boy had become a football hero. But Yang himself was confused. He thought, how did I do that? I was not thinking about anything. And that is when he learned one of his most important lessons. Sometimes when you stop trying too hard, success just comes naturally. Later, when he was about 8 or 9, he experienced another miracle, and from that too, he learned another great lesson about life. He jumped higher than an NBA player. One day, he and his younger brother decided to compete. His brother was 1.5 years younger, but already taller. He jumped easily, touched the top of the doorframe, and proudly made a mark. Easy win. Yang Dingyi looked at that mark and thought, I am the big brother. I cannot lose. But wow, that doorframe looks high. Still, he was determined. He took a deep breath, stomped his foot, and jumped with all his strength. And then, something crazy happened. He did not just jump. He floated. He rose higher and higher, like he was weightless, and instead of touching the doorframe, he touched the ceiling. Wait, what? He estimated later that his feet were at least 1.2 to 1.3 meters off the ground. That is like jumping higher than an NBA superstar. To give you an idea, most normal people can only jump about 50 centimeters. Professional basketball players can do around 80 or 90 centimeters. Even Yao Ming, the giant himself, only managed about 55 centimeters. And Michael Jordan, the king of the air, the man with the famous jump, reached about 1.22 meters. So imagine, a 9-year-old boy in Taiwan, jumping as high as Michael Jordan. How wild is that? His brother could not believe it. He looked at him and said, Hey, do you have a spring hidden in your shoes? But Yang himself was just as confused. When he jumped, he said he felt something magical, like gravity had disappeared. For that one moment, he felt completely free. No limits, no weight, no fear. Later, he realized something powerful. He said maybe every person has a hidden power inside them, something we call super ability, but we just stop believing in it as we grow up. Years later, Yang Dingyi wrote a book called Miracle, where he shared all these strange experiences from his childhood. He said every child might have moments like that. Some fall from a tall tree but do not get hurt. Some suddenly understand what their pets are saying. Some see things from other worlds. Some even start speaking a new language they never learned before. People usually call these accidents or imagination. But Yang said, no, they are signs of your hidden power, your inner potential. You just forgot how to believe in yourself. And Yang's amazing abilities did not stop at jumping. He also had a superpower for learning. While other kids struggled to read books line by line, he had a special trick. He would place his hand on a book, close his eyes, and guess what the book was about. Shockingly, he was right most of the time. Then he found an even easier method. He put the book under his pillow before going to sleep, and when he woke up, he already knew what was inside. Can you imagine never having to study again? Just sleep on your textbooks and wake up a genius. Every student's dream come true. Yang said you could even train yourself to do it if you believed strongly enough. Using this method, Yang Dingyi read many books, but among them, there were 3 special books that changed his life forever.